everybody. Today I'm going to show you how I make poblano peppers, but the first trick is skinning the poblano peppers because the outside skin is very bitter, and there's a really simple trick to get this accomplished. So let's get started. First we're going to take the washed poblano peppers and I'm going to lay them on top of my gas grill just so the skin gets blackened and blistered. You will need to turn these over so that you get all sides of the pepper blistered and blackened. You can use a broiler to blacken the outsides, but I do find a gas range works the best because I do not have to constantly monitor. I can just see what it's doing right on the top surface and turn it accordingly. But if you only have a broiler, that's the way you'll have to try to do it. You just have to watch them more carefully. The reason you blacken the skins is because you're going to next, when they're completely blackened, put them in a Ziploc bag and close it, and the steam is going to help remove the outside skin. Otherwise the peppers will taste fairly bitter. You do want to remove the skins from poblano peppers. So you can see the poblano peppers are completely blackened, just about on both sides. And this is why you need to watch it. So you see the little flames coming off and sparks. You don't want to leave your stove while you're doing this. But what I'm going to do now is take them and put them inside a Ziploc bag, like so. And I'm going to zip it up, and the steam is going to help release the skin off of the poblano peppers. You need to let these poblano peppers sit inside of the plastic bag for at least 15 minutes or till they're fairly cooled down, and then you can take them out. These still have the stems on them, which is good. So just take them out of the bag. You can see the skin is already coming off. And I just take a small sharp knife. Probably a butter knife would work just as easily, but I like to be sure I scrape it off good. So I just start to slightly scrape the surface of the poblano pepper. And you can see all the skin is coming off. You just have to be careful with the sharper knife because you could poke a hole in it or you could cut it open, but that's okay. It's not going to matter. And then what I like to do after I've gotten most of the skin off is I will then just run it under some cool water and remove any remaining skin that I may have left behind. It will come off very simply. That's one, and now I'm going to do the other one. See how it comes off? It comes off super easy. Now, I do my poblano peppers just in the oven. I do not dip them into a batter and then deep fry them at all. That's just me. So it just depends on how you want to make them. But like I said, the main factor in making poblano peppers that will taste good is to get this bitter skin off. And the easiest way to remove the seeds is just take your hand, pull them out as many as you can, and then just run it under water. When you're done doing that, make sure you pat dry the peppers. So the peppers are all washed and dried and clean, and what I do is I just generally stuff them with a mixture of cream cheese and any kind of shredded cheese you want. This happens to be a Colby Jack, it could be Monterey, it could be straight cheddar cheese, and then I just stuff the inside with the cheese like so until I like it as stuffed as I want it. And I will be making 4 in total, and I just put them in a baking pan, and if I want I can then top it off with any kind of sauce. You can use salsa, you can use some additional shredded cheese, some shredded cheese sauce, but I don't generally fry mine. That would be for somebody else. I stay away from fried foods as much as possible. So this is how they are going to be presented at my dinner table. So it's very, very simple. Like I said, the biggest part of making good poblano peppers is getting that skin off that tends to be very bitter. And I'm going to proceed making the other 2 so I can pop them in the oven. So here are the 4 poblano peppers I'm going to make. I'm actually going to keep them in the refrigerator until later. This is what's nice about this dish. You can make it earlier in the day and then cook it at night. And I'm going to bake it at 350 for about 35 to 40 minutes to make sure it's completely hot and the cheese is nice and melted inside. And that's how you make stuffed poblano peppers. I am getting ready to put the poblano peppers into the oven, so I decided first to cover them with some salsa or picante sauce and some additional shredded cheese. And I set my oven at 350. So this is what the peppers look like prior to going in the oven. And what I'm going to do is cover them with tin foil for the first probably 25 or 30 minutes, and then take the tin foil off for the last 5 minutes. Make sure that they're good and hot and the cheese is melted inside.